All right, fam, you're welcome back to my channel as usual. For my returning subscribers, I love you. And if you are just visiting this channel for the first time, you're in the right place. This is African Cyber Girl, right? This is where I learn publicly my journey from zero to cyber shield, securing the cloud, and making my mistakes while at it. You know what? This also is how I learn. This is how I get better. This is how I show up. And this is how I create a community of people that believe in themselves, right? Even if you don't have a mentor, even if you don't have someone ahead of you, you don't even have, some sort of resting place, right? You can always start with whatever you have, and this is me showing up. So if this is something that you'd like to see, right, please subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification, and just sit back and relax while we learn together. As we go on, I know you're gonna like the video, so do not forget to like the video. You can do that now, actually, right? No spoilers, so that's no biggie. Today, we're going to be doing something about managed identities. And like I always like to do, before we start getting our hands dirty and start configuring all the configures, right? Let's paint a scenario as to when or how we would definitely want to use this. So we're sticking with PaySure, right? A fintech in Yaba. And PaySure developers needed their Azure hosted applications to connect to a MySQL database for testing payment flows. Initially, they embedded database usernames and password in app configuration. This worked, but it created a major security risk. Now, if credentials were leaked, anyone could access this database directly. The CTO decided to use Azure Managed Identities, meaning each app was assigned a managed identity, which Azure used to authenticate to MySQL without any password stored in code. Now, developers can connect securely, credentials aren't exposed, and the team can rotate or revoke access centrally. This simplified database security while keeping workflows smooth and safe. Now, who is with me to get our hands dirty? Okay, as usual, we're going to be creating a resource group here. And to create a resource group, that is like a walk in the park. So you just come here and give this a name. So because we're doing manage identities, I'd like to give this resource group, right, managed identity. Okay. So remember, a region is always East US, by the way. Then proceed to review and create. Wait for validation and click on create. That should have been created. I thought as much because that doesn't take time at all. So now that this is created, the next thing we are going to be doing is to create an SQL database, right? Because that is the source of all of this reason to manage the identity in the first place. So we'll come over here to, we're looking for SQL database, right? So we can find it here. Okay, so this is Azure SQL database. So we'll come here in SQL database and we come over here to either create here or create here, whichever one rocks your boat. Okay, so that is setting up. Woof. Okay, let's just ignore all of that. For resource group, we created a resource group of managed identity, okay? And database name, right, is going to be, what should I give a database name? Let's give this, I'm sorry guys, I'm obsessed with African Cyber Girl, so whenever I'm stuck, I just resort to using African Cyber Girl. So African Cyber Girl, DB SQL. Or let's just make everything small letter CG. Okay, so this is our database name. So for the server, we do not have any server, so we'd have to create a new server. And right, so the server's name is going to be ACG server. Okay, so we've passed this, Okay, so for the authentication method, right? Yeah, Microsoft only is good. For the admin, it's not selected. So remember to set admin. I'm going to set myself as the admin, by the way. Right? And this is me right here. Right? And that is what I'm selecting as the admin. Right? Because that's me. All right, so come here to okay that, and we scroll. So this should be left on default. Workload environment, development, right? Compute. Okay, so we don't also have a database, and that is what we're going to be configuring right now. So we'll configure a database here, and waiting for that to load. Okay guys, so I had to start this all over again, right? And I noticed that I had to apply the offer because it wasn't creating the database, and I was surprised. For the resource group, we'll do the resource group that we created. For database name, I actually copied it somewhere, so we didn't have to do that all over again. For the server, we created a server. I'm surprised that isn't displaying over here, but let's just maybe create it again. All right, so create new server. Remember we gave this as ACG server, right? And your subscription does not have access to create a server in the selected region. Guys, so I am restricted because of my subscription. So I have two options, right? I can change my region, but that has to go for my resource group. So I have to change the resource group I used here. So let's go back, right, to this. Let's go back to this resource group. Oh my god, I have to create a resource group again because creating a resource group for me does not give me the freedom to change the location, right? I mean, all I wanted to do was to configure database, but I guess I am not able to do that. So what do we do? We can still do manage identity without SQL, by the way, and we're going to be doing that. But let's see if this can be worked on at all. Let's just try this, right? That public subscription cannot go on. So let's just go back to home, all right, and try to create another resource group, right, with a different location, because we have to make sure that the location from our resource group and the location all through everything that we're going to be doing is in uniformity, right? Okay, so let's give this database, or let's just do SQL resource group database, right? Looks weird, but okay, so let's try REST US2, right? REST US2, and then we review and create. And we wait for that to create. REST US2 creates, and that is created. So we'll come over here back to SQL database, right? Let's see. Come over here to create. I mean, this was what I tried to apply, and that just disrupted the whole thing. But let's ignore that for now. Let's try to add up what we just created. This is the one we created. For database name, I'm okay with okay, let's give it a new name then. SQL ACG database. Okay, so let's see. Do we have to create a server every time? I mean, oh, all right, then let's try to create a new server then. And let's see if we can in this region. So we are creating a server name of ACG SQL server, right? So West US 2, okay, no error. That's good. So we'll come here to set our admin. We are still waiting for this to load up. Okay, so exactly one item must be selected. We've been warned. Okay, select and then okay. So we've set admin and then okay. So I have to look through this MySQL if there is any place where that region may have been, because we're so used to, you know, East US that we have to be careful. Like the default is actually East US, but we have to be really careful. So this is my resource group name. This is my database name. This is my server's name. Okay. Should we just leave it in production then? General purpose serverless. Hyperscale. What do you guys think? Should we do production? Let's do production, right? So configure database. Now it is. So all we had to do was just to change our region. Okay, so for server tier, we could do general purpose, right? Or hyperscale. All right, so we could do general purpose, we could do hyperscale, but I think we let's just do basic for less demanding workload, right? 0 to 2. I mean, one is okay. All right, then we can apply, right? A locally redundant backup storage is okay. No need for Jira and the rest. I think every other thing looks good, and we can proceed to creating. Well, you want to check the networking, want to check the security. Honestly, we might not need all those things. So let's just review and create. And a bill is right in front of us. A bill has been issued to us. That is how much that we'll be paying per month. Unfortunately, mine's not even going to see the end of today, so I wouldn't have to create that. Okay, so while that is validating, let us see if we may get any error messages. Oh, initializing deployment. Initializing deployment. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video and come back. Oh, submitting deployment. Is that going to run soon? The funniest thing is that I've not even tried this hands-on when I saw this. So I don't know how long this is going to take, but I don't want to find out right now. But deployment is in progress, however. So check back later. Alright, so our deployment is complete. We can now proceed to creating our virtual machine. And to create a virtual machine, you can come here, see virtual machines there, and right, we'll come over here to create a virtual machine. Okay, so for a resource group, remember the recent one we created, this one. For a virtual machine name, let's just say Zap server VM, right? Region, automatically, I like that. Automatically, I think when we just put in our resource group, it just, because I was thinking how I was going to do this. So for the zone 1, zone 2 supported. Okay, today is zone 2. Yesterday was a bit, I think zone 3. So image, we do Windows, right? Username, please. I'm going to do AZ admin. I'm addicted to this, right? So just to save time. Everything looks good. Can proceed to Dix. For Dix, we change this to standard, right? Proceed to networking. So this is still loading, right? Loading. So if we try to, because I would have just proceeded to just do review and create, but if you just jump all the way to do that without some of these things loading, you might get an error and you might start fixing things that you may not have to necessarily do. So you move to monitoring. This is where we disable our boot diagnostics, and we want to advance or straight up to review and create. This, right, is going to create a virtual machine. All right, and I'm also going to be posting this video whilst our virtual machine is running or is deploying. Right now, it's just trying to run the final validation to see if there are any errors, but I doubt that there will be any. If not, our prize wouldn't be generated. Voila. So create, and then pause this video. Then we'll come back when this has been deployed successfully. Okay, so we can see that our deployment is complete. And then the next thing we are going to do is to go to the resource of this virtual machine and check out to see our identity. So where is identity here? Let's check security. Okay, so you can see identity here in security, and usually we have two types of identity. We have the system assigned and then the user assigned. System assigned, to do this you just have to toggle this to be on, right? Then come over here to save, and then you click yes. And this is the first step for your system assigned managed identity. The next step for you to do this is, this shouldn't take a while. This shouldn't take so much time. Okay, so that has been, assigned properly. So role assignment is the next thing we're going to do, right? While this has been configured. To do that, we're going back to our resource group. I would love to duplicate this page, but let's just, go back to our resource group. Let's go back to home, right? Our resource group was this one that we created, the second one. So this one, we're going to be looking for the server here, this SQL server that we created, right? So this is what we are going to be enabling our IAM role in. We're going to be enabling it in the server. So you come over here to access control IAM, right? And come over here to add a role assignment. We wouldn't need to search for anything particularly to manage identity. We can just come over here and just look for a contributor. It's funny how what you see in the tutorial is not what you see when you start your own hands-on. So after a reader here, it's supposed to see like a tutorial contributor afterwards, but let's just type in contributor. Let's see if we're going to see a contributor that would stand alone. If not, we may have to look for a particular kind or type of contributor then. So these are the only type of contributors that we see, right? There is the advisor, review, managed service, and the API. I think we might have to just go with this API management service. So this is grant permission for all management operations except Porch for app configuration resources. Okay, I think this looks promising a bit. App. I am torn between choices right now. Okay. Maybe we'll just do with this then. API or can review for workload and triage recommendation linked to them. I'm actually torn. The category, this is integration, monitor, preview, storage, containers. Nah, we're not doing containers, right? I don't think we even have to come down for this. Category, none. Let's just go with this because this looks like it wouldn't restrict us, right? So for the members, we come over to manage identity and select members. Some results might be hidden due to your ABAC condition. So for the manage identity, we're picking a virtual machine. And this is the virtual machine that we created, right? Server VM. That has been created. We move on to next. We move on to review and assign. When that is added, we will be on one way to system managed identity. That has been done. So now in cases where there are like more than one virtual machines and then we have to manage identity for them all, we will go back to the virtual machine, right? Yeah. We just, the one we did now is for system assigned, right? And the next one we're going to be doing is the user assigned. That one is easier to manage when there are more than one virtual machine. So we're coming over here to identity, right? So this is the system assigned that we did. This is the user assigned. For the user assigned, just come here to add user assigned. But before we do this, right, we are supposed to create like managed identity on its own. Okay, let's search with identity. Yeah, that's manage identity. I see. No. Identity. So this is manage identity. So this identity is what we're going to be creating to be able to, do the user assigned. This doesn't require so much, but make sure that this region is in. Okay, maybe when we add a resource group, that should automatically edit. So for the name here, we can give this a name of ACG managed identity. We're changing this to our West US 2. Yeah. And then we review and create. Right now, our deployment is succeeded. Then we can go back to our virtual machine here, right here, and try the user assigned. Like so, come here to identity, to user assigned, come here to add user assigned, right? So Microsoft Azure sponsorship, this should actually give us a drop down, right? Filter by identity name or resource group. So let's do A. Yeah. So that was the resource group that that was the managed identity that we just created. So add them. That will be added to us. You can see why we had to create the managed identity before we came over here. Well, the identity has been added. Okay, that has been added. Then we can now come back to our SQL database in our resource group and add a role. The same thing with a contributor. So this is the resource group here. This is our server, right? Okay, so here that is, come back to role, add a role assignments. And now we can just pick this one, right? This was one we picked the other time. We didn't have to, search for. I was just thinking, I see something else. So select members. You can do all system assigned, right? And pick all system assigned identity. Do we need to? Let's see. ACG. So all system assigned, we have the option of our virtual machine, right? And that's what we're going to be selecting. Okay, so straight up moving on to review and assign. And then we review and assign. Okay, so there's a problem. So we got an error, right? Because we're actually supposed to, let's try adding another role assignment. We're supposed to add the managed identity that we just created. This is contributor. Next, I'm surprised why that didn't come up. Select members. So some results might be hidden due to your ABAC condition. Oh, okay, let's do 3 ACG. Let's see if it's gonna come up. No, it didn't. So let's do 1. Let's see. Okay, we're good. So select, and then we'll come over here to click next, and then review and assign. What's the result this time? You better be successful. And yes, our role assignment has been added, and that has been successful. So my fans, my family, if you stayed with me at this point and you have not subscribed, you have not liked this video, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. You have to do something about that, don't you think? Please like this video. Please subscribe. Yeah, it boosts my morale. It boosts my morale and makes me want to create more. I will be expecting your subscription. And I'll see you next time in my next video. Until then, have a nice day.